The date is November 22nd, 1969. The opponent, Ohio State. This game is to add final proof that the Ohio State football team of 1969 is the greatest team in the history of intercollegiate football. Let's find out as we go to the press box and Bob Ufer.
Good afternoon, football fans. Today, the Michigan Football Network has moved its microphones back to the University of Michigan Stadium, where this afternoon we bring you the football game that's everything for Michigan and Ohio State. The Big Ten football championships at stake, Ohio State's #1 rating, and a trip to the Rose Bowl for Michigan if they can upset the Buckeyes. All this in the last football game of this 1969 season. The largest crowd in the history of intercollegiate football, 103,588 fans, are sandwiched into this Michigan stadium right now to watch an Ohio State team that has won 22 straight over the past 2 years. They've already been tabbed as a dream team of the 1960s, and earlier this week were being compared with the Minnesota Vikings of professional football. Ohio State has won the toss of the coin. They've elected to receive. Michigan will kick off. The teams are lined up. The fans are on their feet. Dana Coyne's kick is coming down around the Buckeye 13-yard line, where it's taken by Campana. He picks up a block at the 20. Campana's at the Ohio 25. 30, breaks a tackle at the 35, over the 40, and finally brought down at the Ohio State 44-yard line by Marty Huff and Dana Coyne. Wow! Ohio State taking up right where they left off against Purdue last Saturday. 1st and 10 at their own 44. Over the ball comes DeLone. Lions balance. Backfield in the T formation. Otis and Hayden to the running back. Zelina to slot on the left side. Kearns at quarterback. Ricks takes the ball from center. Rolls out. Fakes a draw to Otis. Kern can't find a receiver. He touched the ball. He's going to run. He's rambling over the Buckeye 43. He picks up a beautiful block at midfield. Kearns at the Michigan 40, 35, and finally run out of bounds at the Wolverine 31-yard line by Tom Curtis and Barry Pearson. What a football team. Ohio 1st and 10 on the Michigan 31-yard line. The Wolverines dig in defensively.
Michigan did dig in as they stopped Ohio State cold on a 4th down situation with inches to go at the Michigan 11-yard line. Moments later, we rejoined Bob with Ohio State in possession deep in Michigan territory.
7.5 minutes remaining in the first period. 4 plays after Zelina's great punt return finds Ohio State at the Michigan 1-yard line. No score in the ball game. Ends in tight. Full house tee in the backfield. Kern hands off to Big Jim Otis, who bulls his way into the Michigan end zone. The Buckeyes lead 6-0. And Jim Otis, one of the finest fullbacks in the country, has just scored his 90th point of the season for Ohio State. And the Buckeyes at this moment look just as good as their press clippings. Jan White will attempt to kick. The ball snapped. Kicked by White. It's high enough, long enough, but it's just off to the left. It was close, but not good. Being close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and dancing, but not in football. Ohio State 6, Michigan nothing. 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Michigan took the following kickoff and moved 67 yards to the Ohio State 3-yard line. Here's Bob.
Michigan's determined to tie up this ball game. Ohio State 6, Michigan nothing. 2nd and goal to the Buckeye 3. Moorhead takes the ball from center. Hands off to Garvey Cron. Cross fighting his way behind blocks by Harpring and Baumgartner into the Buckeye end zone. And we have a brand new football game here in front of 103,000 fans. Michigan 6, Ohio State 6, and Garvey Craw went through that Buckeye line like a bat out of where bats come from. The all-important extra point is coming up for the Wolverines. Frank Titus is all set to try to put Michigan ahead. The ball is snapped. It's spotted. It's kicked. It splits the Buckeye uprights. The Wolverines lead 7-6. Michigan spotted Ohio State 6 points and then just rambled 70 yards in 10 plays to score. And you can say right now, at this point in this ball game, that Michigan has just established themselves as a real threat to this vaunted Ohio State football machine of 1969.
Coyne of Michigan kicked off to the Buckeyes. In 9 plays, Ohio State relentlessly moved to the Michigan 22-yard line as we rejoined Bob for live action.
The first quarter is into the record books. Michigan 7, Ohio State 6, but Ohio is threatening again. 3rd and 14 at the Michigan 22-yard line. The Buckeyes are out of the huddle. Jankowski split wide to the left. The 2 running backs are Otis and Hayden with Zelina at the slot. Kern rolls out to the wide side. Michigan is blitzing on the play. Kern spots Jan White, the tight end. Kern rifles a perfect pass to Jan White between the Michigan halfbacks and short of the Wolverine safety man. He's all alone at the Michigan 18. White to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ohio State, and the Buckeyes go ahead again. 12-7. It was a beautifully executed bang-bang pass play. They caught Michigan off balance. That's got to be a new Buckeye play. They used it earlier in this drive. Good for 28 yards to set up this Buckeye touchdown. It was beautifully conceived and equally well executed as Ohio caught Michigan blitzing both times. I'll bet Shem Beckler and Coach Jim Young will adjust to that play real soon. The legions of Woody Hayes are now all set for the extra point. Jan White will attempt. It's centered. It's spotted. It's kicked. It's good. Ohio State 13, Michigan 7. But wait a minute. Michigan was offside on that extra point, and Woody Hayes is electing to accept the penalty and decline the 1-point extra point. The ball will now be spotted at the Michigan 1.5-yard line, and the Buckeyes, with a great running game, will gamble to get 2 points, forfeiting the 1. Ohio's out of the huddle, ends in tight. Full house tee in the backfield at the Michigan 1.5-yard line. They're going for 2. Kern takes him center. He's faking to Otis. Kern's being rushed by Mike Keller. Kern can't find a receiver, and Keller makes him eat the pigskin at the Wolverine 12. A great defensive play by Michigan's crashing left end. Big Mike Keller, and the score remains Ohio State 12, Michigan 7, and listen to the fans go wild.
Following the kickoff, Michigan, behind the brilliant quarterbacking of Don Moorhead and the fine running of Taylor and Gabler, are now down to the Ohio State 33-yard line.
Jim Mandich, Michigan captain and All-American end, was just shaken up on that last pass play as he's caught his 36th pass of this season. Mandich is one of the finest ends Michigan's had since the All-American days of Jack Clancy and Ron Kramer. Michigan 1st and 10 at the Buckeye 33. Running backs are Taylor and Craw with Moorhead at quarterback. Moorhead drops back. Ohio is blitzing. Moorhead gives to Billy Taylor in the draw play. Craw kicks out the end. Mandich blocks in the tackle. Taylor has daylight at the Buckeye 30. He's to the 25. Breaks the tackle at the 20. He's at the 15. Taylor at the 10-5. And finally knocked out of bounds by Sensabaugh at the Buckeye 4-yard line as 73,000 Michigan fans go berserk, while 30,000 Ohio fans are stunned at the moment. Michigan is trailing 12-7. Out of the huddle come the Wolverines at the Buckeye 4-yard line. Balance line ends in tight. Full house tee in the backfield. Moorhead takes the ball from center, hands off to Garvey Craw, who's picking up a key block from Baumgartner to 3. And Craw battles his way to the Buckeye 1-yard line, where he's piled up by Tatum, Stillwagon, and Kemp Hanna, 3 of the finest football players in the country right now. Second and goal at the Ohio State 1-yard line. Michigan trailing 12-7. The Wolverines Daubers are up right now. Ohio is leading, and Michigan's quickly out of the huddle. Moorhead looks at the 6'5 Ohio State goal line defense. He takes the ball from center, hands off to Craw. Garvey hurls his 200-pound frame into those trenches up front, and Garvey Craw scores. Craw scores his 12th touchdown of the year for Michigan, and the Wolverines go ahead for the second time in the ball game, 13-12. And what a delicious 6 points this is, forcing Ohio State to play catch-up once again. The Wolverines are set for the extra point. Moorhead will hold. Titus will try to make it 2 for 2 for the afternoon. The ball snapped. It's spotted. It's kicked. It's good. Michigan 14, Ohio State 12. The Wolverines have just rambled 69 yards in 9 plays to come from behind for the second time this afternoon. What a football game.
After the following kickoff, we rejoin Bob with Ohio State at their own 27-yard line.
Ohio State's out of the huddle, going into punt formation, 4th down, 8 yards to go at the Buckeye 27. Incidentally, there are 4 minutes remaining in the first half, and this is the first time that Michigan's defense has forced Ohio State to punt from their own territory. Sensabaugh's deep at the Buckeye 13-yard line. Sensabaugh gets away a good punt. It's coming down around the Michigan 40. Pearson has it at the Wolverine 37. Berry gets a beautiful block from Darden at the 41. Pearson's at the 45. He's getting a key block from Newell at midfield. Pearson sees daylight at the Buckeye 40. He's running away from Zelina at the Buckeye 30. He's at the 20. Pearson's at the 10. He's running out of gas, and he's finally brought down at the Ohio State 3-yard line. That's as fine a punt return as we've seen in a long, long time. Little Barry Pearson of Michigan went down the center of this tartan turf like a penguin with a hot herring in his cummerbund. Michigan leads 14-12. Out of the huddle, ends in tight, on a balanced line. It's the orthodox tee in the backfield for Michigan. You for slow and get your breath. 1st and goal at the 3. Moorhead takes the ball from center. Moorhead keeps and moves in behind Deerdorf's great block at the goal line and slithers into the Buckeye end zone. Another big 6 for Michigan. The Wolverines lead Ohio State 20-12. Who would have believed it an hour ago?
With 2 minutes left in the first half, Michigan added another 3 points with Tim Killian kicking a 35-yard field goal, and the score at the half is Michigan 24, Ohio State 12.
The first half is over. It's unbelievable. But the supposedly invincible, unbeatable Ohio State Buckeyes are behind at intermission for the first time in 2 years. You know, as one experiences and feels all this excitement, you just gotta believe football's a religion, and Saturday is the holy day of obligation. What a sport. I love football, and I love Michigan. And the Wolverines just have to upset and beat Woody Hayes and Ohio State here this afternoon. Why, it's only fitting that Michigan, with 23 Big Ten football championships to Minnesota 16 and Ohio State's 15, and with over 530 football victories in their 92-year history of the sport, that's 60 more than any other school in the Big Ten. It's only fitting that the Wolverines should come up here this afternoon with one of the biggest upsets in the history of intercollegiate football. But wait a minute. Let's not get carried away too far, you fool boy. It's only halftime, so right now, let's catch our breath, leave football a minute, and move back to that tartan turf for the big halftime battle of the bands, Michigan and Ohio State.
Michigan received the second half kickoff, and at this point, leading 24-12, it was Michigan's defense that took over and forced Ohio into turnovers that set up 2 missed Michigan field goals. Right now, we're in the fourth quarter. Time is running out for Ohio State, but here's Bob.
Ohio State trails 24-12. They have the ball, 1st and 10 at the Wolverine 21-yard line. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. This could be the Buckeyes' dying gasp. Masajowski barking out signals a quarterback. He takes the ball from center. He drops straight back, cocks his arm. He throws, but it's Tom Darden of Michigan who intercepts the pass at the Wolverine 10. Darden's back to the 25 and is finally brought down on the Michigan 33-yard line. The 6th interception by Michigan this afternoon. It's hard to believe that this great running machine of Ohio State has even thrown 6 passes in a complete ball game, let alone have 6 intercepted. Bo, in his first year at Michigan, has coupled strict adherence to discipline with a fetish for physical conditioning into what we've witnessed out here this afternoon. A team that believed their coach when he said, you can beat Ohio State. You are prepared to beat Ohio State, and you will beat Ohio State. And football fans, Michigan is doing just that right now. Across the way on the eastern sideline stands a bewildered and stunned Woody Hayes. He can't believe that his tremendous football team found feet of clay here this afternoon in the hole that Yost dug, Chrysler paid for, and Canham carpeted, as Michigan is just about ready to complete one of the biggest upsets in the 100-year history of man's inhumanity to man. And in all this din and excitement, we can't help but notice 3 very colorful individuals seated below us here in the Michigan press box. They have a smile on every one of their faces as they watch their Michigan complete a perfect afternoon of football. And who do I mean? 3 men who have more or less dedicated their lives to Michigan football over the past several decades. That's right, it's the legendary Fritz Chrysler, the lovable Benny Osterbahn, and the loquacious Wally Weber, watching the shrewd student Bo Schembechler teach his former wily mentor Woody Hayes a few lessons in inspired come-from-behind football. There are 5 seconds left of playing time on the digital scoreboards here at the Michigan Stadium. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. There's the gun. The ball game is over. The final score again, and Ripley couldn't have written it any better than this. Michigan 24, Ohio State 12. This has got to be the year of the impossible dreams. From the Jets to the Mets to the man in the moon, and now Michigan pulling the biggest upset in the history of intercollegiate football as the Wolverines outplayed, out-hustled, and out-coached Ohio State here this afternoon, 24-12. And as someone once said, the world will little note nor long remember what we say here today. But Michigan men everywhere will never forget this afternoon, Saturday, November 22nd, 1969, as the day Ohio came to bury Michigan, all wrapped in maize and blue. The words were said, the prayers were read, and everybody cried. But when they closed the coffin, there was someone else inside. Oh, the Bucks came to bury the Wolverines, but Michigan wasn't dead. And when the game was over, it was someone else instead. 22 Michigan Wolverines put on the gloves of gray. And as the organ played the victors, they laid Woody Hayes away. The final score again here this afternoon in one of the Wolverines' football classics. Rose Bowl bound Michigan 24, bewildered Ohio State 12.